Hey, my beautiful saucies. So, I just wanted to ask a question to a lot of the content creators that are making like content or commentary about Kendra G and her show. And they're essentially calling her a fraud and that they're accusing her of keeping black women single and that she's not really helping the situation. She doesn't tell women when they're wrong. She does not correct them or tell them where they stand in the sexual dating market or their sexual dating market value, I guess is what it's called, which is a lot of the talking points of Kevin Samuels. And I'm not saying that Kevin Samuels was wrong in a lot of what he said about the dating market. A lot of that stuff does hold true, especially with women, how we lose value as we age or as we grow older. We tend to have like the experience of an older woman. And I'm not saying that we lose value to our families as matriarchs or that we lose value as far as our experience and wisdom that we can offer the future generations, but we become less desirable as mates because men control they control access to relationship and marriage. That may be true. That part is true. That part I agree with. So I'm not trying to say that women don't have any value at all. It's just that we become less appealing because as we age, our reproductive system ages, and these men, especially men with a lot of money, can go and date women who are younger and all that stuff. So that was a serious, Kevin Samuels talking point. But one thing that I did want to, one question I did want to ask a lot of the content creators that are saying these things is just how is it Kendra G's fault that these women get on her platform and represent themselves this way? A lot of the women have that same information available to them. You can go to Kevin Samuels' page or his old platform on YouTube or wherever else he used to broadcast. Mainly YouTube is where I see it, and watch his videos and get an idea of how or where you stand in the sexual marketplace according to what he said his predictions were. Not to say that women, as we age, we can't find mates and that men are not marrying at all, but the chances of you having a husband, the older you get, decreases. And I do believe that he's right on that. But Kendra G is a platform. That's all she does, is provide a platform for women to get on her platform and kind of market themselves as mates. And when they do, they are oftentimes in direct defiance to the standards of that said dating market. Oftentimes women who are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 30s, well into adulthood, who know fully what their prospects are, and they market themselves to, a lot of times, millionaires, people who make six figures, and a lot of times they bypass average earners or middle-class men altogether, and they get on their platform. They wear bonnets. They're self-proclaimed escorts. They have 6 kids by 6 different fathers. One woman had 11 kids, another one had 8, and she was still in her 20s. Women who don't even care enough to comb their hair or get out of bed. A lot of the times they're laying down with bonnets on. They don't care about their figure or their weight, or they don't try to wear flattering clothes or even clean up their apartments, so that when you're watching the videos, you can see a lot of flaws in their living space. Oftentimes women call from the workplace. They're wearing their uniforms, their name tags, where you can see the company that they work for. Sometimes they show up, in their car. And this is how women are advertising. This is how they're marketing themselves in the singles dating market. This is what they're asking for. And they ask for men that make 6 figures or more instead of just average men. But they are giving you whatever they feel like giving you. They wear whatever they like. They wear cut off shirts, they show the cleavage. I mean, and despite the fact that who they are trying to marry may not necessarily like that, they're not even trying to play the part and look like they're serious about trying to find a mate. But I don't see Kendra G's platform as doing anything wrong, because we all know you can't tell another adult anything. You can't tell women in the community anything. They're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to try to find a way around what you're saying. And if that same method doesn't yield the results that they want, then they blame the platform. How is Kendra G any different than dating website? And I'm not like a huge advocate for Kevin Samuels. I do think that watching him would be beneficial to a lot of women, because it gives you an idea of how a lot of men think and how they view women in general at all different stages of life. And if you're trying to marry this demographic, then it would benefit you to understand them and understand how they think and what they want. So he did drop a few gems, but what I did not like about Kevin Samuels sometimes is that it seems like he was so jaded by the male and female gender war that he was an advocate for men, which is nothing wrong with being an advocate for men, but he was such a staunch advocate of men that he became dismissive when women say that they suffered, DV, they divorced their husbands because of DV or because of infidelity. Whenever they brought up DV, he would question them and act dismissive as if he didn't believe them. But he was such he was so good at bringing up stats and bringing up numbers that he would oftentimes use against women. But he never wanted to touch the stats on how many men commit DV or unalive black women in general, or women in general. And when women would call him and say, hey, I got that divorce because of those reasons, by him being dismissive could be very detrimental to a lot of men who are guilty of infidelity and DV against their wives or their girlfriends, who could be watching him and looking up to him. And by him being dismissive and invalidating what the woman is saying and just acting like it's her fault that she got DV'd, or like asking essentially, well, what did you do to get smacked? Pretty much, what did you do to get the DV? It's detrimental to his viewers, because by his failure to hold men accountable that do that, made it seem like it was like a passive way of approval for the ones that do it, essentially making it more dangerous to the women that were involved in those relationships. And he made women feel as though there was something wrong with them for divorcing, as if that's not a valid reason to seek divorce. And he would oftentimes also tell women that would call him and say they got divorced because they weren't happy. Well, he would say things like, well, it's not the man's job to make you happy. It's his job to provide and protect. And while simultaneously telling women to come up to the standard of men, where men had to be pleased by your physical appearance, like bend over backwards, keeping your figure, keeping your appearance up, be pretty at all times, be a good homemaker, cook, clean, do all those things, do 50-50, pay bills, spoil the man in your life, which is all good things. It's a good thing to do that. But I think that the two people should be happy together, at least, have something about each other that they like and that they're attracted to, in order to maintain a good, healthy relationship. But those are just some of the things that I didn't like about Kevin Samuels' platform, but I did like his message about this sexual dating market. And I do see a lot of truth in what he said. But back to Kendra G's platform, honestly, a lot of people get upset with Kendra G because she doesn't tell women the raw truth about their weight or their appearance. Well, you're too cocky, you need to be more humble, you need to do this or that. When like I said, you can't tell women anything. You can't tell black women anything these days. Some will listen and some won't. And you just can't tell them. You can't make them go lose weight. And this is actually the main demographic that supports her platform. And honestly, if she were to parrot the talking points of Kevin Samuels, unfortunately, what he said about the sexual dating market would apply to Kendra G also. Kendra G is 46 years old, I believe. Never been married. I don't think she has any desire to marry, but she kind of gave herself away when she was filming herself at her birthday party when she said she wanted to be married with kids, or at least pregnant by midnight, I think is what she said. I don't think she said anything about marriage, but she was in a committed relationship with a guy that turned out to be a scammer or something like that. But her platform, I mean, you can see the kind of smoke that platforms like Ashley Dalton and Kendra G would get if she tried to even tell women some truths about themselves and what they were asking for. And it would cause like a huge backlash if you tell them to put on makeup, if you tell them to get physically fit, drink green juice, take your vitamins, exercise. And some women had 2-month-olds at home, occasionally seeing their baby father still, and they would get on her platform and say that. So I mean, how is that her problem? How is that her within her control if this is how you choose to market yourself? Maybe she should have told them that, hey, your prospects are not very good, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some women just want to put themselves out there and get what they get. That's not her fault. I mean, you have dating sites where women in general, or basically black women, don't fare too well on those dating sites. They put up different kinds of profiles, and women have resorted to lying or catfishing. They might show themselves, they might put up old pictures on their profiles of how they used to look 20 years ago when they were slimmer, younger. Some women use filters. Some women say that they have no kids when they have multiple children. Some women lie and say they're another race altogether and don't put black, or some women might lighten their skin or put maybe somebody of a lighter complexion or medium skin tone or a darker complexion or whatever, or put up like a model pic or something saying they look like a model when they don't look like that, just to see how many responses that they get. So it's not as if women are oblivious to the standards in the sexual dating market. It's not like they don't know what the standards are. So nobody says anything about the dating websites and the profiles and the catfishing that goes on those, and saying, well, it's just those dating websites' fault that women are not getting the results they should get. All she's doing is providing a platform. You click on the button and you can talk to her, and that's your chance to show the opposite sex or same sex what you are looking for. So I think that it's a way for her to make money at the end of the day. That is how that's one of the sources of income that she has. And I just really don't think that she's doing anything wrong. She's not telling these women to come up there on her platform like that. She's not telling them, hey, before you get on my platform, you have to lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds. I mean, the backlash she'd get if she said that? Do you understand how serious that would be for people who feel like she would be body shaming them, or feel like she would be shaming them in general? Just look at the backlash Ashley Dalton got when she told women to wear makeup. I mean, all hell broke loose. And I know a lot of people don't like Kendra G because she's kind of cocky, and she prioritizes talking about her bag and how much money she has and how much money she makes. She doesn't really talk about marriage and love and happiness and things like that, like the things that traditional women would like to talk about. But she has that kind of platform where she talks about that. She has that kind of thought process. And there are women who have similar thought process to hers, and they are attracted to her channel. And these are grown women that are fully aware of the consequences of that kind of thinking. They're not babies. So there is an audience for every platform, I guess. So there you have it. She has to make her money at the end of the day like everyone else. And she can't help people that don't feel like they need help, right? So, all right, saucies. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.